Okay, thank you, Carsten. Now I would like to introduce Michael Henneberger, who was so kind to take over the talk from Jim Hedrick, who couldn't make it today, to give the presentation on bioengineering and nanotechnology, preventing antibiotics-resistant microbes.
Thank you. Jim Hedrick was not able to come, but he has sent the presentation and he has asked me to be his substitute. Now, don't expect too much of polymer chemistry deep knowledge, but I will try to do my best. He is working at the IBM Almaden Research Center, South San Jose, at the southern end of Silicon Valley. A very proud lab with many achievements, including invention of the disk drive, all of magnetic storage, relational database, the first programming language, Fortran, and so on. Now, Jim Hedrick is our leading, most creative polymer chemist at this lab, and he has been working for many years on polymer chemistry applied to hardware. Now, about 10 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago, they changed their focus and moved towards applications in the life sciences and medicine. And I'm going to talk to you about two applications. One is drug-resistant bacteria and the other biofilm. I don't have to explain to this audience what the problem with drug resistance. So we have MRSA, the methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. We have VRE, vancomycin-resistant enterococci. So we have those problems, and it's only getting worse, as you see on this on the top of the slide on the left side. And the second application is associated with problems with implants. So there are biofilms developing and bacteria embedded, and those biofilms and bacteria lead to rejections and implant failures. So what Jim Hedrick has been doing, he studied the action of antibiotics and looked at ways for his biopolymers to achieve destruction of bacteria, to look at antimicrobial peptides. And he was able, in 2010, it was first announced, he was able to actually achieve that by not acting on the inner machinery of the bacteria, but to disrupt the membranes of the cell wall. This is the kind of chemical detail. So you'll see going from electrostatic association. We are starting with a cationic biopolymer and moving to hydrophobic membrane integration. So the nanoparticle integrates into the membrane of the bacteria, then it destabilizes the membrane, and at the end it lyses. And this is illustrated in steps 1 to 4. And so there are several benefits of doing this. There is the macromolecules, they act on the outer walls. They're making resistance less likely. There's no mutation that could kind of make the bacteria resistant to a certain antibiotic. Then there also there's no less risk because this is a large molecule as opposed to a small molecule antibiotic that so it's a local application. It will stay and it will remain locally. And the third is that this is actually what Jim Hedrick and his team were able to achieve was the first biodegradable polymer that acts as such a antimicrobial. And by collaborating with the Institute of Bioengineering and Nanotechnology in Singapore, IBN, not IBM, IBN, and a state lab in China for infectious diseases, they were able to also check this not yet in vivo, but in vitro. And what can be said here is that it has been shown and proven that MRSA is destroyed. There is an antimicrobial action of this nanoparticle. It is also non-toxic, that could also be shown, and it does not do anything to the environment. So I think it looks extremely promising. And this is in this slide shown as phase 1. Now in phase 2 is to change the polymer somewhat and then integrate it with creams, hydrogels, and apply to wound care. And phase 4 is to look at this problem of biofilms with implants and make sure that there is a prevention with against rejection of those implants. So that is a work in progress, but first positive results have been achieved. Phase 5 of the project would be synergistic delivery of this antimicrobial and actually an antibiotic. And that has also, there are first preliminary positive results. And it would be able to do that with extremely small doses. So for two reasons, in the interest of time and because of my ignorance, let me move to the end. Those are all details of the chemistry. Coatings. Let me move to the last slide. Yeah, it has been shown there's a sustained delivery over 2 weeks on a modified catheter surface. This is again the first positive signs of that this is actually working on the biofilms. So here we go. So the conclusions are that IBM research in Almaden, California has developed a new generation of polymeric antimicrobials that have been shown to overcome multi-drug resistance, have in vivo instability, are non-toxic, and low ecotoxicity and broad-spectrum activity. So this sounds, again, there have been some preliminary in vivo studies, but this thing has, of course, to be pursued and has to progress in the normal way. But at this time, it looks extremely promising. And the second point is that the application to biofilms. This is the latest milestone has been achieved, and there have been tests in combining it with doxycycline, and the results also of this hybrid strategy of using both an antibiotic and this membrane destroying, disturbing polymer look also very positive. And in 2011, actually, it has been chosen as one of the top 10 game-changing ideas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Now I would, well, we have, in fact, 2 minutes or so for 2 questions. Do we have any questions to this shorter talk just now?
If you're interested in the chemistry details, I can make the presentation available. And also the key publication is in Nature Chemistry, 3rd of April 2011, by Jim Hedrick and his co-workers. And there are several other publications that support support the facts here.
May I ask a question? What kind of preclinical studies had been run already on these materials?
Well, so far, I told you it's in vitro. It's collaboration with the Institute of Bioengineering, Nanotechnology. I think pharmaceutical partners are very welcome to join. I don't know about Rick, how much you know about it, and what potential you see.
Well, so we heard about this some time ago, and so we decided to work with you on other things other than that. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Anyway, I think this is not yet in any clinical trials, not on the way to any regulatory approval. It's early research, but the results indicate that it is promising.
Any other questions here?